Welcome to Around Town, featuring what's happening in the greater Concord area. I'm your host, Dick Patton, and it's a pleasure to have you join us today. And today, as you know, with me and Paul Brogan, we're always reminiscing about Concord yesterday and all that. And today, I am so happy to have with me Jim Murphy, who became, I guess, my, let's see now, we remember that I had the tree at the State House Plaza was vandalized heavily just before Thanksgiving.
That was kind of sad. That was kind of sad.
Yeah, and the plea went out because it's like they took a vacuum cleaner and went around the tree and took the bulbs off or left them in the sockets broken. And they also tried to cut the wires and it was terrible. I could have stood there and cried. And so the call went out that, we needed funds or something. We had to buy more bulbs, and I had a phone call from this gentleman, Jim Murphy of Elm Street in Pennacook, who said he had some bulbs. Well, boy, I'm going to tell you something. I couldn't believe the bulbs this guy had. And I had the thinking that maybe there were over 1,300 there or 1,500.
I would say
there was a lot.
I would say at least that many, yes.
And he loves Christmas, I think, almost as much, if not more, than me, as far as decorating goes. And I thought I was bad. But he really came through with us. And before I forget it, I want to present to you, Jim, an appreciation for your donating those bulbs and helping us to get that plot tree back lit again.
Well, that's very nice of you. Thank you.
Well, Jim, you are fantastic. I mean, I really can't believe what you did for us.
Well, I'd had the bulbs for many years because I used to change the color in my home every year. So
wow.
I had hundreds of bulbs, and I almost threw them out a couple of times.
Well, thank gosh.
And I thought, you know what, someday someone's going to need these bulbs.
Well, we did too, boy. I mean, I had a family from Atkinson, New Hampshire, who sent me a box. Federal Expressed it up to me and had 80 bulbs in it, and I've been trying to contact them. And then Brian Waldron, of course, went on and did a Fund Me page to help buy more stuff if we needed it, and we had to buy the wires and the strings there too.
Well, I wish you'd let me know. I had several.
Well, I didn't think we did, but the more they got in there and started to,
they saw the damage.
we saw the damages, and and I was determined that I was not going to fill those those holes, until that Friday of the tree lighting. But and it was we have some very generous people here in Concord. I'm telling you, because it was just the support was tremendous. I will say it did sadden me that the businesses on Main Street, except for a couple, didn't even bat an eyelash. They didn't even contact me to see if we were all set or nothing. It's almost like they didn't want nothing to do with it.
Well, that's kind of unfortunate because the tree is kind of the centerpiece of the downtown Christmas season.
The Barley House and Joe King's Shoe Shop, and of course gave us the donations as they usually do for the tree lighting, and but the Barley House gave us another donation to help, and then of course Merrimack County Savings Bank gave us a token donation, which was nice, but they've said they will increase their donation next year. But it's just so sad that with all the businesses on Main Street, we've got nothing.
Well,
but anyway.
Well, I came through for them.
You came through for the people.
Well,
because the people love that tree lighting. I mean, I heard
the tree looks beautiful.
It does.
It looks
really,
absolutely beautiful.
It's at first I thought it was a little short, but it is truly a beautiful tree because it's a spruce tree.
It is.
And that to me is a Christmas tree.
It is.
That's what I was brought up. I mean, I had a phone call asking, what do you call that tree? Is that a holiday tree or is that a Christmas tree? Well, they got a choice answer back, but then they didn't like it, but it's a Christmas tree.
What did I hear that today? Some commercial for in Maine. I was listening 94.9, they play Christmas music, right?
Yes.
All through the season. And there was an ad for, it was a casino in Maine, and they were talking about holiday night. And I'm like, holiday night? What holiday? Yeah. What holiday is that? Is that Christmas?
Yeah. Well, it's like that. Like the caller said to me, well, is that Hanukkah? I said, Hanukkah does not have a Hanukkah tree. As much as they try to commercialize it and make it part like that, it's not. I have a best friend who's Jewish, and he just, it bothers him that they're doing that stuff. They
like the menorah, and a lot of cities around, I travel extensively around the United States, and a lot of cities have the menorah and a Christmas tree. And
Concord has their menorah. It'll be up. It'll be up because this year Hanukkah is late, and
late this year.
It starts on Christmas Eve actually.
Really?
Hanukkah does, yes.
Oh, who knew?
And so I said to myself, I got to get your Hanukkah cards, and I said, but it doesn't start till Christmas Eve this year.
So you got plenty of time.
So plenty of time. But Jim and I have been having a ball going back talking about decorations on Main Street in past years, the same way as Paul and I have done. He's brought in some photographs, but this one here on Main Street had the Christmas trees that took the place of the decorations that we had. I don't know if we can hold that up, Jim, or not. If they can see that in there or not. If they can see in that camera.
I think they can see it. That's old downtown Concord.
Yeah. And that's, you can see Newbury's on there. You can see the youth center.
Mm-hmm.
Puritan's restaurant, which is right next there. It became Talk of the Town after that.
Yep.
But it was Puritan's. Then there was across the street the small version
I actually
of CVS.
worked at the Puritan when I was 16.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
For Mike's Cafetas.
Yes.
Yep.
But were you there when they changed the name to Talk of the Town?
No, I left prior to that.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah. And look at the cars that ranch wagon. They were trying to figure out what year that was. But I know in the late 50s and early 60s, I told you, the decorations were, they had garland that lit up around the pole.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had that
replaced the trees.
Then they had
the trees.
The trees replaced this.
Replaced this.
And they had like a square picture, Christmas picture that lit up. It had like a bulb in it, and it had one side had one picture, another side had a different picture.
It's amazing how many of the buildings have not changed over the years. They just have different names in front of them.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Old Concord is still Old Concord. That's a friend of mine, a good friend of mine who helped me with my display this year because I'm injured right now, and he sent me that, and I'd love to find out where he got it because there are surely several more pictures of downtown Concord.
Wow. There's Fanny Farmer candy, which a lot of people never knew even existed. It was on Main Street.
Well, that was a candy store back then. Now it's just candy in the store.
Well, now it's a Christian Science reading room.
Oh.
Fanny Farmer's been gone for years. All we got left is the Grand State now.
Yep.
But yeah, the Fanny Farmer building there is the Christian Science reading room.
Right.
And then of course you have the small version of CVS in, as you can see, which they moved down and took Newbury's place.
Oh yeah.
See the CVS, and they moved down there.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was Newbury's. That was across from J.C. Penney. On Main Street.
Yeah. And then you had the youth center, which Mr. Silverman owned, him and his family. The Varshy shop was on one side, and that was
the youth center on the other side.
His son Louis Silverman operated that one. And then the Junior Deb shop was
Junior Deb, that's what it was.
And that was his other son, I think it was Paul Silverman, I think, owned that one, operated that one for his dad.
Yeah, we got our clothes there when we were kids.
We did too. Yeah, because my mother was part of a clothing company.
Mine too.
And it went for 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
She paid X amount of dollars, and then you got, at the end of 10 weeks, either if you did $1 a week, you got $10, or if you got $10, or however it was, I can't remember. But, that's how they did their Christmas shop. And then, of course, the youth center also was the official headquarters for the Girl Scout uniforms and brownies and all that stuff in there.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
And then you got this of the bells, And that's what I'm trying to figure out where
Well,
they were.
These bells are fiberglass, probably some of the first fiberglass ever created. They're
Yeah.
extremely old. I had to rewire it,
Yeah.
all three of them. These, I believe, were from Britt's parking lot, and they
Yeah.
hung off. They were part of another. They hung off another piece. You see, and because they have several different connections on top, which are still
Wow.
there. There's several, if I could zoom in, you'd see the hooks, the different uses that they had throughout the years. They changed from one thing to another way of
Yeah.
of setting them up. This one here, I believe, was in the south end or something similar to it. I don't know if this is the exact one. The guy wouldn't tell me exactly where he got it, only that he worked for the city. And I'm sure he had more stuff that I would have loved to have seen.
Oh, I bet.
But this white was it. That's why I love these, because there was always snow on the bell, even if it was warm,
Yeah.
even if it was raining.
Yeah.
They always looked like Christmas.
Mm.
So when I saw it, of course I had to have it.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I've had it for
naturally.
years now. I'm very delicate with it because it's thin.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very thin.
And then this were the Christmas trees that they came in after that, after the other ones. But Pennacook had these, you said.
Yeah, Pennacook. This is the ones I got from the Pennacook Association, and I want to thank Kathy Bush especially for all her hard work and getting me these trees, because they were stored in an old barn called the Sanders Barn in Pennacook, and the barn still stands there. It's very unassuming; you wouldn't even notice it. It's behind the library in Pennacook. And the only reason I kind of knew they were there is because this stuff comes off, and there's a trail going to the door.
Oh, my goodness.
So when General Services, I would imagine, took them out every year, they would shed a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And when I finally got into the barn, sure enough, there were almost 40 some odd trees in there. Some were unfixable, some had been hit by trucks and completely destroyed. But I'm in the process of restoring them, and this one's been restored with LED lights. So
Wow.
it's a lot cheaper than.
And then here's some here that you said that you.
Right, these are the two. I have 25 trees, believe it or not.
Oh, my gosh.
And this is the X pattern and the V pattern. None of the V patterns have been restored. The X patterns have almost completely been restored, but the wiring is extremely old. And what happened back in the day was when the lights went out and the sockets were made out of this old stuff called Bakelite,
Yeah,
and after it dried out, because it's an oil-based product, it cracked.
sure.
And they would just take the sockets completely off so it wouldn't be a hazard. So we had to go through all the wires to find the little holes in the wires where they were, and we put the sockets back on and replaced the bulbs. So someday they'll all be standing, but not this year.
Well, you know what really upset me was because after those other trees here, they replaced them with the candy canes that hung around it, kind of
Yeah.
rolled down.
I remember the candy canes.
But after that, the new board, or whatever it was, at that time downtown board, got rid of the lights. And what they did was they had this green and white garland that came down with miniature lights on it
I know,
on the pole.
I thought it looked kind of silly, but
And it was crazy. It was stupid. But that
well,
was
these are for you.
But that
I have some pictures of old stuff in
Oh,
Concord.
I know. I love them, Jim. I really do.
You'll have to come out and see the.
It takes back, brings you back memories because people don't believe it when you tell them about these decorations.
Well, if anybody from General Services is listening, if you have any of the old lights, especially the four angels that were on the intersection of Pleasant and Maine, I remember those so
Oh, yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
I would really, really love to take a look at them. Maybe I can restore them for you. And you can put them, I don't know,
Well,
are there still
yeah.
poles there? I don't think so.
At one time, of course, they used to have the, and this is the other thing too, anybody out there knows what happened. Because at the intersection of Pleasant Street and North Main, South Main, there was a large candelabra that was strung across that intersection with a Christmas decorated ball that's strung under it.
Wow, that's
And
That's
nobody
good
knows what
memory.
had happened. Somebody thought, the rumor was that a tractor trailer or something went through and took it down.
it would only take one hit.
And
with
that's
something
when
that
the angels appeared.
old. There you go.
Now,
I'd
what
like
happened to
find
the
angel.
candelabra?
I don't know.
You know?
If it got destroyed, it was probably thrown out.
It had to have been because
But
it
the
was a lot.
angels, looked like they were in pretty good shape. As far
I know.
They just weren't put up one year. I don't
I
know whether
know.
they sold them somewhere or
I don't know.
they might have them. So if
It's-
you have them, call me.
it's crazy because anyway, so this group in 73, 74, and the only reason why I know this was because I was doing the Christmas parade. That was like my second or third year as chairman of that parade for the JCs. And they had this crazy, the gallon was disgusting. And after that, there was nothing for a long, they had maybe some banners or something else. It was just disgusting.
The banners are nice. I mean, downtown Concord now is very chic. It reminds me
What
of
did you
several
say, very cheap?
chic.
Oh, chic. Oh,
Chic.
excuse me.
No, there's nothing in downtown Concord that's cheap, except for maybe the burritos. I'm not quite sure, but everything Main Street rents are traditionally expensive. But there's a lot of new stores down there. They've really gone a long way towards fixing it up, and at least they have lit up wreaths. And I was happy to see that. Well, I was afraid they were going to go with the banners. I mean, Pennacook, the banners are really nice, but still, lit trees are more impressive for
Well,
me. I like lights. So
Well, I do
I'm
too.
not a big banner guy.
And it's
But-
the capital too.
It is
That's
the
how
capital.
I look at it.
And the
you know?
downtown does look very nice. At least, like I said, at least they have lit
Yeah.
ornaments on
Yeah.
the new poles, so that gives it very crisp. And a lot of the businesses downtown go out of their way to make their storefronts nice.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so it is kind of welcoming down there.
Yeah.
And I know that they just had the big midnight merriment down there, and it seemed like that went off really well. So kudos to Concord for doing something.
But I wish they would support the
Christmas tree lighting. I think that's kind of important.
because
Kids love it, and it is.
Yeah.
It kind of kicks off the season. I mean,
And the thing of it is, Jim, was there was a comment made that we should put them together. No, I mean that doesn't work. To me, they should have something every Friday night to Christmas. Make it
True.
special. Get the people back downtown.
that's one way to bring more people back downtown is to have some events
Yeah,
on the Friday
exactly.
nights. I mean, especially with people shopping, you don't want them to
Yeah.
head to Manchester or
That's
go up
right.
on the Heights.
Not
that the Heights is bad.
No, I live up there.
Yeah,
And
I mean, if you really want to drag people downtown, you gotta have some event, something special that's going to make them take notice.
And I also would like to see a dollar store down there.
I'm
I
surprised
said
they
that.
haven't gotten one down there yet.
Oh no, they don't want one down there because
Because it doesn't go in with the higher class stores.
that's what it
is.
is. Because I said, we had the 5 and dimes for years, and I said there are a lot of people who cannot afford to go into some of those stores, and it's not that they're nice, but
Right.
number one, they don't have my sizes,
Right.
so I have to go up to the mall or whatever. But it would be nice for those who live in the apartments down there who can't afford that to have a dollar store or a Family Dollar or whatever down there. What's wrong? You had before the years of the Woolworths and Kresge's and Newberry's.
I remember Newberry's and Woolworths. I remember those.
You remember Millie's lunch counter there in Newberry's?
Yeah, I used to go in there. I remember when I went in there one year and I bought the plastic candles for 15 cents.
Yeah.
And they were new back then, but now they're...
Remember Santa Claus and his gold-colored chair in there?
Surprisingly enough, I do now that you mention it.
Now, do you remember the year that they had Santa's hut on the State House Plaza?
I don't know.
There was a hut on the other side of the tree.
Yes, it was like a little
Red hut. That's
little
right.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somehow it collapsed in the snow or something. They never brought it back.
Well,
But-
it used to snow a lot back then.
Oh, yeah. But he would have a phone there. And sometimes when you went to visit him, if you were lucky, you had a phone number you could dial. You'd get him. If not, then you got a recording of Santa's voice on there. And we
Wow.
used to try like crazy. And sometimes we got...
I never get to go into the hut.
Huh?
I never get to go down to the hut.
No.
My mom was a working mom, and she was downtown. It was because she was either going shopping or she was picking something up, dry cleaning, and then she was gone. But remember, there was Woolworths and Newberry's down
All right,
there,
yeah.
and these were stores that a lot of people frequent.
Grants.
Grants.
Pennies and
yeah,
Sears.
and especially and Sears. Yeah, the Sears.
Duncan Frazier.
Yeah, all those
Wow.
stores were places where everybody shopped. There was no mall, and there really wasn't. There wasn't a lot of retail up on Loudon Road.
No,
at that
there
time.
wasn't
You
at
know,
that
it was
time.
it was different. I know there was a car dealership at the top of the hill. I remember that.
Yeah, that was Rick Novo's Mercury Garage
Yeah, yeah,
on the corner of Thomas Street and Loudon Road.
yeah. Well, they
Well,
haven't.
it was
they-
all houses up there, and you had a few
It was
mom and
residential.
pop
mostly.
grocery stores.
Yeah.
I worked in Toll's Market until it closed. Then there was Frank and Bob's or Frank's Market across the street. You had the original Heights Market down by the Mercury Garage.
Yep.
And then you had Tom Collins' store, which was up there by up where the Irving station is now. That's what it was. It was all
But it was
houses.
residential, yeah.
It was all houses through
But
there.
now it's
Now it's like another Main Street.
it's not. It is another Main Street, and they're
Yeah.
vying for the business.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
they are.
they've got a lot of places up there.
But it was always holidays. I can remember in '63 when John F. Kennedy got assassinated, that they had been decorating the streets for Christmas. Everything stopped. And we all wondered if it would be ready to be lit up the day after Thanksgiving. It did, because they got right to it after the National Day of Mourning on
Well, it was
Monday.
kind of a shocking event at that time, for sure.
But it was really a big thing, and of course they used to extend the lights all the way down to almost Court Street. Now
Yeah.
they stop at Bridge Street now,
Yeah, they do.
and
Well, Main Street doesn't really. There's no retail really, Pat. There is, but it's not
no,
really. And that's what it's all about. It's all Christmas. Unfortunately, is about retail,
I got to ask you something though.
and that is so not.
When your mother took you down Main Street downtown, right?
Mm,
Do you remember it was at the corner of North Main and Center Street,
North Main and Center Street. Oh.
where TD Bank sits now? Because if you do, your mother might have said to you, "Don't look over there. I don't want you looking over there."
I can't remember. I know there was a restaurant up on Main Street at one time. I think it was a Italian restaurant. But I don't-
Garbo's was down there.
Garbo's was there, but that's where now that whole building's being renovated.
Well,
From
the
Garbo's
place
to
I'm
Bagels.
talking about was Caroline's.
No,
The bar,
she wouldn't have let me know what that was.
well, you'd see the people a little bit lubricated on the sidewalks, passed out or whatever, and my mother
That's
would
a
say,
good way to
"Don't you
put
look
it.
there. Don't look over there.
Lubricated.
Don't pay no attention there." Because down in front of that was Fletcher and Murphy. Baker Boy Bakery was down there. There was I think a post office was there too or something. And then you had the driveway up to the Merrimack County Courthouse.
Yeah, I think that was a little before my time. I remember the Tea Garden was a diner, and I remember the Holiday Inn was, I think it was an Italian restaurant.
Well, it was Angelo's.
Angelo's, yeah.
And the Concord Elks Lodge was there.
Yes, yes.
Because on Flag Day, you had a parade from the Elks Hall up to the State House Plaza, because Nevers Band would provide the music.
Oh.
They marched up there.
Well, you know a lot more than I do about the history.
Well,
You got a couple years on me.
oh yeah, sure. But it was. I mean, it was Angelo's was a big thing there on the corner of Bridge Street in Maine,
Yeah.
and Garbo's was across the street,
Yeah.
a small place. Atherton's TV, remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the big gas explosion they had there with Salvation Army?
Yeah.
No, not Salvation Army. Army Navy
The
store.
Army Navy store.
They had a big explosion
Very
that took out all
vaguely.
those buildings. Yeah, that's why there's an empty hole there, like a parking lot, because that's where Atherton's TV place was.
That's why there's a hole there.
Yeah,
Ah.
they never built up.
No.
That's where the explosion was. And then they rented a place across the street. Army Navy did, and you could see the stuff was burned.
Yeah.
Some of it. I don't know why they thought they were going to sell it, but no, Christmas was always magical, and that's why to this day, I've maintained the tradition of lighting the lights the day after Thanksgiving.
I think that's a great tradition, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of people, especially kids, look forward to it.
Yeah.
Kids don't want to go shopping. They just want to go downtown and see the lights and whatever else is going on. They don't mind going in and seeing stuff, but they want it right now. They don't want to wait till
and
Christmas. for it.
Unfortunately, Jim, there's no official group that sponsors that event. It was
I'm
my,
shocked.
It was
I'm
my
shocked
idea.
about that.
It was my idea. The Grange and the Knights of Columbus sponsor the nativity scene now, and Concord Grange itself does the tree with the lights on it. We provide the lights, and that's all it is. But there's no really set group. So I tried to add some things to the lighting every so often. Try to add something different. I used to have the first year we had that tree lighting. There was 25 people that came up from St. John's Church. We stood around, sang carols, and the
Nice.
Father Lauer did a blessing of the manger, and it was still, well, no, it wasn't as big as it used to be, and that was it. And then for a few years, that's all it was. And then we added Concord High School band came down and played for a little bit, and then a few other little things came in, and finally, 1998 or 1999, I added some fireworks just to surprise everybody. It was in the Millennium mood, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you couldn't buy much for $1,600 for fireworks.
No.
But it started a tradition that Dennis Gaudette from Auto Servant in Tilton, God bless him, he is a fantastic guy. He donated $1,000 the following year to help buy more fireworks. And then Concord Imaging, I can't say enough about them. Concord Imaging Center is they have been our major platinum donor the last 3 years. And thank goodness for them. And of course the Raleigh Agency has given us $1,000, and they're very community minded. I had another outfit that gave me $1,750 last year, but then they withdrew $1,000 this year, so I had to make up that $1,000.
Well, that's
That
you know,
hurt.
it's sometimes it's hard to get people to invest in the community like that. Businesses especially should be interested in it because, of course, they're part of the community. They serve the community, and they depend
Well,
on the community.
I know
For the business.
they get hit every day of the year. I know that from different places. But still, when it's a local community event that brings the community together, you would hope they would support it.
Well, that's the thing today. A lot of communities, I don't think they're drifting apart, but let's just say everybody's really, really busy these days, and so a lot of people have the idea that somehow it'll all get taken care of. And then there's the other people that know that there's only one way for it to get taken care of, and that's
Oh,
money
no.
and dedication, and people that have time,
Yeah.
you know, and are willing to put their time and their money out there to make sure these things happen every year. That's what makes the town.
Well, we're coming to a close around town, but this has truly been a wonderful show, and
Well, it was a pleasure.
and I just thank to God for you taking that step forward and helping us get that tree done.
Well, I got to tell you, if I hadn't have hurt myself, I wouldn't have been home for 3 or 4 months. And I started reading the Concord Monitor again during the election, which goodness
Sick of
gracious.
that stuff.
Anyway, that's another story. But
Yeah.
All
right.
I was reading through the paper and I saw that, and I never would have seen it. I would have been out of
Really?
town.
Yeah.
And so there you go. I saved
Well,
those
I'm
lights
glad
for
you're back.
years.
Well, I'm glad
Just
you're
for
back.
you.
Well, thank you, Jim. Thank you.
My
A nice-
pleasure.
A nice early Christmas present for the people in this area.
And thank you for all you do for the city of Concord
Oh,
for Christmas around
well,
here, because I didn't know that you did that by yourself. I really did not.
Yeah, I get some
I
volunteers.
thought the city
some
had a
volunteers,
group of people
you
that
know.
did that. I never.
They look at me like I had one law firm last year looked at me in the face and said they wouldn't donate anymore because it was a frivolous event.
Well, there you go.
And that law firm is around the corner of North Main and School Street or whatever. They have a second floor suite.
Well, having said that, I understand that some people just don't feel that they want to get involved in it because they feel it's kind of a religious holiday.
No.
But
Well, I don't call riding of horses and all that religious on that night, but okay.
okay.
But anyway, thank you for coming on.
That was
and
a great
talking.
pleasure.
I'll have to get you again before you go on the road because this is fun reminiscing.
Well, I'm sure I'm going to be home for a few more months.
Well, good. We'll get you and Paul Brogan together, and I'm telling you, we have a ball and get reminiscing about Concord. He would know that fish place on South Street. I know he would.
I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's a little beyond my memory.
Yeah.
As it's fading as
Yeah,
the years
there you
go
go.
by, which I think is normal, I'm hoping.
And a big thank you to my super director there, Ian Marks, who once again is always there ready to get the show on the road. So thanks again. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the holiday season. I'm your host, Dick Patton.